Hey guys, this is gonna be a vlog style kind of little video with some thoughts, my thoughts prior to my trip. If you don't already know, I'm headed to Egypt here in a couple hours. Um, well, a little more than a couple hours. I think the plane leaves at 6, so at the time of filming this. To be honest with you, there's a little bit of healthy nervousness. I've traveled quite a bit. I've been in the Middle East, so I expect some culture shock sometimes when you land, at these airports, and you're directly right outside the airports. A lot of times the areas are not so great. Even in the United States, I don't know if you ever flew into Philadelphia before, but if you have and you've left, pretty much the entire surrounding area is like really bad areas. A lot of tents and stuff. New Orleans, same way. Mexico, same way. Tel Aviv wasn't like that. One thing to note is it takes like 20 some hours there to get to Egypt. I'm on the East Coast flying out of a little regional airport into Charles de Gaulle, and we have quite a long layover there. I know the flight's gonna suck. It's like an 8.5 hour flight or something crazy. That might be the part that I'm kind of not worried about, but just like, man, it's not fun being in the group 7 or group 8 people like myself, and like, flying 8.5 hours. And another thing that I keep on hearing about so much is scammers. Every video, man, I have heard some crazy stories going into this scammers. And one person actually got into a boat and basically chased a guy up. They call it tipping. They pretty much expect a tip, from my understanding, for everything, even to like use the bathroom. There was another story where a guy, he's basically about to turn on the water, wash his hands after using the restroom, and a kid jumps out from behind him, turns on the water for him, and then asks for a tip. I thought that one was pretty wild. I've seen some scammers before, but this takes it to a different level as to what I've heard prior. So I'm kind of, heightened awareness, and it's kind of not fair for the people of the country, because generally I'm a nice guy. I kind of like to give, these guys a couple dollars or something, but I just can't do it for every single aspect of my life. I'm kind of balling on a budget here. I do take precautions when I travel to these places. I have a book bag here, my travel book bag. It has a lot of inside pockets that you can't get to, that I kind of hide away important documents, itineraries, tickets, that sort of thing, as well as my passport. I have a secondary bag in case it gets extreme that I can put, right here, that's easily accessible. Took some cash. I probably should have bought some more Egyptian cash, so I'm kind of running light on that. It's going to be a good trip. We're going to be there, like a week and a half almost or something. Another important thing to note, there's a little bit of economic turmoil going on in our country right now with all these tariffs, so things might be a little more shaky than normal. Another thing to think about is right now the Gaza Strip, which connects Israel and Egypt in the north, still has war going on in it. And the thing of it is that we're going to be maybe an hour away at the closest, but it's still a Sharia law Muslim country, so you got to follow those rules and guidelines. For me, another thing with the book bag, as you'll notice, I have pins. So I have pins to places I've traveled. And I had to remove a lot of mine because some of mine had, just because of how they laid out the flag in a certain area, like, there's crosses, anything Jewish, I have to pretty much cover up, or pretend doesn't exist. So I just took some little precautions like that. I'll put my pins back on and hopefully add to them later on in life. Obviously, it's every adventurer's dream to go to Egypt and to see the pyramids. That was my thought process on it. And just being very grateful to get the opportunity to, go. And I have a good friend with me too who, we kind of try to keep each other safe and, just make wise choices. Yeah, I guess that's about it. I'm going to basically post this in a playlist and then try to give my updated thoughts throughout the trip. I'm not an editing engineer, guys, so if you decide to watch this, man, don't expect, awesome drone footage over Abu Simbel or something. I'll have some cool pictures and maybe some cool videos here and there, but I'm basically doing it vlog style. I think it's more natural. Plus, I got like a little podcast, so it kind of makes sense for me to just want to talk and ramble on. My kids call it yapping. I'm going to miss my kids. Isaac and Noah, if you watch this at any time, man, I love you guys. I'm so proud of you kids. You kids are, I worked the butt off of you. And, the housing crisis, affordability crisis happened, man. We couldn't afford, a bigger house, and it's been a huge failure for me. But one day, it's kind of insane. I can afford to go to Egypt. I got an 800 credit score and, some money in my pocket, but I can't afford a home because they're $300,000. The bad thing is I make like 30% above the poverty rate income here in my home state of West Virginia. So try to put in my head that it wasn't my fault, and just circumstances outside my control. But my kids are good, man. Noah and Isaac, man, I love you kids. I really do, man. You guys take care of your mama while I'm gone, okay? All right, guys. I will see you like 30 some hours